Locked within our bubbles, life passes us by, without seeing, without noticing, without listening.
Ma secondo voi, oggi,
history is a time that slips away and is forgotten in a flash. Everything shakes in emotions that last only a few seconds.
Allora, non so voi, ma quando
But is this really reality? Who do you listen to? Who do you follow? Who bursts into your life and makes it come alive?
Do whatever he tells you. This is what Mary said to the servants at the wedding in Cana, when there was no more wine on the table and the party was about to come to an abrupt end. How can we restore strength, vigor, life to a moment of everyday conviviality? How can we revive a community that has lost its spark? We have a way to follow, and that is the one that encourages us to follow Jesus Christ, our hope, the only one who can restore joy when everything has become flat. The wedding of Cana marks a sort of watershed in the life of Jesus, and consequently in the life of each and every one of us Christians. It is the gateway, Pope Francis reminds us, to the life of every believer, because it becomes a clear sign of God's intervention in our personal history. However, we are not mere spectators, sitting in the audience admiring the spectacle of miracles. On the contrary, we are an active, integral part of all this. We can say that without us, the miracle cannot be accomplished. Do whatever he tells you, and the relationship of love between each one of us and God will begin. A covenant of goodness and abundance that will bear much fruit. From here, in fact, a process of faith, freedom, and service is triggered. It's the same process that led Don Bosco to give life to the Salesian family. A family that includes all of us, always in search of that good wine that never fails. Are we ready to be servants who allow ourselves to be guided, influenced, encouraged by Christ? Let us do what he tells us and set out on our journey. The path to follow him consists in 4 simple steps. Let us begin the journey with the strength of the hope of this Jubilee year, of the already, but also with the courage of the not yet, certain that the Lord still has much to reveal to each one of us. Are we ready to follow him?
Look,
Maria era lì.
Mary was there at a wedding feast, attentive, and she noticed what was happening. She looked up close and she read the situation. No detail escaped her. And from there, from that attentive observation, what would change the fate of the feast began. Listen to what Salesian Dominic Valieth says.
the Salesian charism is still on a pilgrimage. Every pilgrimage involves a certain amount of risk. Sometimes we are faced with the challenge of venturing along a path that may still seem unexplored. It is in this context that every Salesian, trusting in the constant presence of the Spirit of God, is called to continue on his journey. With a little of that confidence so acutely described by the poet Antonio Machado in his poem Caminante no hay camino, Wayfarer, there is no way, the way is made by walking.
Maria ha visto
Mary saw what was happening and built a path on which the servants could walk. She was not there by chance. She had been invited. She was not a neutral guest, just one of many. She was participating in the banquet, playing an active role. That is why she felt compelled to do her part, choosing not to remain indifferent, choosing to get involved, rather than closing her eyes in the name of political correctness. Let us learn from her not to fall into indifference, which not only justifies what is happening, but also indirectly and passively encourages it. We must take an active part in the celebration. Look at everything, see it up close, read it, really see it. Let us welcome young people, let us look at them, notice every little detail. Because it is in that moment that the Lord surprises us, and simple maternal attention becomes the treasure chest that reveals God's action. Let us remain attentive and vigilant to what is happening around us.
Listen.
Whatever he tells you, do it. Note, the emphasis is not on what must be done, but on who tells us what to do. Events must be faced in the light of Christ. Mother Teresa writes to her sisters,
I worry some of you still have not really met Jesus one-to-one, you and Jesus alone. We may spend time in chapel, but have you seen with the eyes of your soul how he looks at you with love? Have you heard the living words he speaks to you?
hearing, listening, a clear and simple invitation to a comprehensive analysis based on a vertical view of things. Because once we have looked at the world analytically and horizontally, we must listen to others, so that our activism does not remain empty. To believe is to place ourselves in the Lord's hands, to grow in the certainty and security that comes from a heart guided by divine providence. Let us allow ourselves to be guided by Mary, who with her total trust teaches us to listen to the Lord before listening to the world. We must listen to him carefully before acting, because it would be a tragedy to believe that we are serving God and instead elevate our own projects to being idols. How much work and effort is wasted in the dead end of pastoral worldliness that leads us to commit ourselves without being aware of whom we are serving. The pastoral project can only succeed if it is continually nourished by the Word.
Choose.
I servi
The servants listen, accept, and choose to trust completely in Jesus' words, as Mary had asked them to do. But that's not all. They do so with such confidence that of their own free will, they fill the jars to the brim. Because if you trust Jesus, there is no room for anything else. Let us choose an authentic experience and a comprehensive approach, just like Don Bosco offered his boys. Pietro Brido writes, Don Bosco's first institution grew slowly, but with increasing vigor and fame, like the gospel mustard seed. He also knew how to resort to strong measures, such as retreats. He had already tried this out for the first time in 1847 for the oratory boys. For a good number of the 50 participants, this meant staying day and night in the oratory premises. When we trust in Jesus, there is no room for anything else, and our limited, flawed, human capacity becomes even fuller, more joyful, more ready and more generous. The servants, in fact, could have interpreted Jesus' words in a human way, doing what they could or what they thought was appropriate, reasonable, plausible. The result? It would have been very different. It is like when, in the face of urgent challenges, human reasoning takes over. Yet we know that when we see that the wine of hope is lacking, the temptation is to do the minimum. No, let us choose to bet on the Word of God so that our work will be full to the brim. It is no longer the time to project our fears onto young people. It is time to choose to entrust ourselves completely, stepping outside of what we know and filling our jars with overflowing generosity. The generosity that comes from God.
Che viene da Dio.
Act.
Young people are still searching for those who have the courage and conviction of faith in Christ. They are searching for it, but they do not have the words to express it. And what about us? We must act with the boldness of faith. Pope Francis writes,
Faith does not draw us away from the world or prove irrelevant to the concrete concerns of the men and women of our time. Faith makes us appreciate the architecture of human relationships because it grasps their ultimate foundation and definitive destiny in God, in His love, and thus sheds light on the art of building. As such, it becomes a service to the common good. Faith is truly a good for everyone. It is a common good. It helps us build our societies in such a way that they can journey towards a future of hope.
we are bearers of good wine. We are signs of the love of God for young people, especially the poorest of them. We are co-workers in God's plan for young people. We must be witnesses of a healthy heart that understands God's revelation and helps young people to live in the world, rooted in faith, with eyes, ears, and minds free from all external constraints. And how can we live all this? By acting in the world in a free and conscious manner. Because it is this choice, which comes from looking and listening carefully to what is around us, that drives us to be an active part of young people's lives. Let us speak to them of earthly things lived in the light of God. Let us bring them good wine so that they may celebrate with us today, here in this world. Hope is Christ, here and now. It is He who moves our actions. It is He who reminds us at the daily banquet that faith is not private property, but must be taken and served in jars filled to the brim. Blessed are the young people who meet these servants filled with genuine joy.
fragile, problematic, without vision, empty. This is how young people are usually described today. Are we sure that this is really the case? Are we sure that we are not the ones who are unable to see their curious gaze and search on the world? Or are we accompanying them? Are we bringing them the new wine of the wedding at Cana? The only thing capable of restoring joy and hope in the midst of difficulties, doubts, and uncertainties. Young people are looking for a credible proposal. They are looking for authoritative witnesses. In a word, they are looking for authentic believers. This is our challenge. The challenge of the whole Salesian family, and this year even more strongly, the challenge for all Salesian cooperators on the 150th anniversary of their foundation. Servants in the world, servants at the daily banquet. Every Salesian cooperator is called to look at history by reading the signs of the times, to listen to the challenges and grasp every nuance, to choose what to do and to act. But all this can only be done, as Don Bosco showed us, through a journey rooted in faith in Jesus Christ. And is this not, once again, to accept Mary's invitation? Do whatever he tells you. The Salesian cooperators are called to live with the same heart, with the same Salesian passion for the salvation of young people. And on this important anniversary, I would like to invite them to live their mission right to the brim. We are all at the same banquet. Let us walk together. Let us listen to one another. Let us help one another, support each other, because the Salesian family needs each and every one of us. Don Bosco's dream continues every time a young person discovers in the educators a believer who is living his and her faith to the brim. And together with them, he or she will find a way to truly become himself or herself. This is the good news that we are called to live and to proclaim, following Jesus Christ.